Over the next few videos, we're continuing to take a look at the history of one of the UK's most popular Halloween events. You're watching Theme Park Realm, and this is the history of Alton Towers Scarefest. The current format of the Halloween event started way back in 2007, however some of the resort's most popular scare attractions can be traced back even further than this.
Be careful of the present of little Molly Crow.
Halloween has been celebrated at Alton Towers for many years. Over time it's grown to become the highlight event of each season. What started off as a single scare maze has grown to become a huge array of different attractions. In today's video we're taking a look at the history of Scarefest from 2015 up until 2017. If you've missed out on any of our previous videos, I'd recommend checking out the full playlist, which I will link on screen. So as we discussed in the last video, 2014 was a huge year for Scarefest. It saw the introduction of the Scary Tales Scare Zone, and also the introduction of a brand new Alton Towers sleepover experience. Unfortunately, the 2014 season would also be the final year of the Zombie Scare Zone and the Sanctuary, but this would allow for some brand new experiences to launch in 2015. In 2015, many alterations were made to the Scarefest lineup. The Sanctuary was replaced with a brand new scare maze, Subspecies The End Game. This would be the resort's most frightening scare maze to date. It was the first ever scare maze to feature multiple routes and multiple endings. Guests ventured underground into a post-apocalyptic sewer system. Here they would become contestants in the end games. Sewer dwellers bet on guests' chances of survival as they desperately tried to take different routes and avoid the inevitable. Unlike the previous Halloween experiences, actors were permitted to touch guests and even split up groups. The maze was so well received that it would go on to win awards in later years. Also new for 2015 was the haunting of Molly Crow. This was again very different to anything previously offered during Scarefest. Guests would be blindfolded as they walked through an abandoned Victorian house. The masks acted as a defence against the beaks of crows which Molly herself controlled. The maze utilised sound and other senses to tell the story of Molly's life. Guests would then enter an impressive live-action finale. Here they would encounter the spirit of Molly Crow for the final time. Terror of the Towers What Lies Within returned for 2015 and ran alongside Subspecies inside the tower's ruins. The resort also updated its Scare Zone lineup. The zones were now designed to interlink with different areas of the theme park. Dark Apocalypse saw a deadly virus spread across the Forbidden Valley. Phalanx Control tried to quarantine the outbreak, but with little success. Meanwhile, in the Dark Forest, Nox Infernus would see the return of many of the ghostly characters from 13. For 2015, the Trick or Treat stage also returned as usual. This was relocated back to the front lawns and hosted a number of shows throughout the day. The Alton ancestors also returned to Tower Street, hosting flash mobs at random times during the morning. They would then move to the Gloomy Wood during the afternoon and evening. 2015 introduced a number of new experiences, including the RIP Tour. Guests could take a tour of the history of Scarefest. This offered insight into the backstory and creation of many of the resort's scare mazes. The Extreme Maze offering also returned for 2015, but there was a brand new Maze It Alone option, allowing guests to brave some of their favourite attractions without a group. Subspecies Operation Lockdown was a brand new escape room experience for 2015. Taking place late at night, guests were given 2 hours to help the Phalanx operatives destroy the alien species once and for all. Around the park there was also some brand new Scarefest signage, including a new large Scarefest logo at the bottom of Tower Street. Many of the outlets on Tower Street also received alternative Scarefest signage for 2015. Over in the hotels there was plenty of Halloween shows as always, and the usual trick-or-treat rooms also returned, offering their usual evening of spooks. The 2016 Scarefest event also saw a few changes and some new attractions. Subspecies The End Games returned for its second year. The maze featured some general improvements, but the alien nest ending was unfortunately removed, meaning guests would now all exit through the chainsaw ending. Terror of the Towers: What Lies Within also returned as usual for 2016. After receiving mixed reviews, The Haunting of Molly Crow would not return for 2016. Instead, a brand new attraction was introduced. The Altonville Mine Tours Legend of the Skin Snatchers would invite guests to discover the truth behind the stories of the Skin Snatchers, a family of outcasts who harboured a dark secret. The Mine Tours maze was very well received in its first year and received praise for its level of detail and theming throughout. In 2016, the resort continued with its Scare Zone offering. Dark Apocalypse returned to the Forbidden Valley area of the park. Unfortunately, Nox Infernus was replaced with a new attraction for 2016, the Freak Show. This new attraction was located on a pathway near X Sector. A travelling sideshow of circus rejects had descended upon the resort, with only the bravest guests daring to walk amongst them. For 2016, a brand new attraction was introduced. The House of Monsters was the resort's first ever family scare maze. This attraction was located in what's now the Gangster Granny Ride building. Guests would join a monster hunting vlogger on his quest to discover the truth about the residents of a disused house. The experience was very well received and lasted around 25 minutes long. Many agreed that this was the best family attraction in the history of Scarefest. As usual, the Trick or Treat stage returned to the front lawns, and the Alton ancestors also returned, hosting flash mobs in Tower Street each morning, before moving to the Gloomy Wood later in the day. Over in the hotels, the usual Halloween entertainment returned, but there was unfortunately no overnight or late night experiences during Scarefest 2016. So after the success of the 2015 and 2016 Scarefest events, the resort would again bring back fan favourites for the 2017 season. Subspecies The End Games returned, and although slightly different, its second ending returned for 2017. The Altonville Mine Tours also returned after running for its first time in 2016. The maze was again very well received amongst guests, and very popular at the resort. Terror of the Towers: What Lies Within also returned and featured a brand new entrance at the front of the tower's ruins. Unfortunately, this would be its final year at Scarefest. At the end of the 2017 season, the park began ramping up its marketing campaign for Secret Weapon 8. Along with this, a brand new Scare Maze experience was created. The welcoming Be Chosen was based around a mysterious group who had emerged from the woods within Alton. The group had become enraged by people's modern ways. Guests were invited to join their Halloween festival. This attraction featured a high level of detail, along with nods to the Wicker Man throughout. There were also sightings of the maze's inhabitants conducting spooky rituals around the resort. Over on the pathway near X Sector, the Freak Show also returned. For 2017, the Freak Show is unfortunately the only Scare Zone on offer. As in previous years, the Trick or Treat stage returned to its usual location. 2017 also saw the set return for Skelvin's Spooky Storytime. The House of Monsters returned for its second season and featured a number of improvements, including revamped scenes and a brand new finale. The ending now featured drop panels and plant tentacles dangling from the ceiling. Unfortunately, there was again no overnight scare offering for 2017, but the usual entertainment returned to the resort hotels. So 2017 was another fantastic year for Scarefest. The Welcoming was a fantastic new attraction and also helped build the story for the Wicker Man. Many of the resort's existing attractions were also built upon and improved, creating even spookier experiences for guests. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at Scarefest 2018 until 2020. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.